On the job with the fast drying wall from yesterday. I've got a couple of patches to do in here today before I put the coving on in that room I was in, so it's just a bit of a patch day. It's about 10 o'clock. I've had to pop out this morning and do a really tiny little render repair, but I didn't bother filming that because it wasn't really that interesting. Maybe when I get some other rendering jobs I'll be filming them, but not for a foot square render. It wasn't worth getting the camera out. But anyway, let's go and see what these extra bits are, because I've not really seen them myself yet. Treated myself today to a little yellow beauty. Cheap as chips. Right, that was the problem wall yesterday. And to be honest, that wall was a problem as well, but I didn't film that. So tomorrow, I'm just going to cove this. There's already a bit of coving up there around that pelmet, so I'm just matching to that. So it's Friday tomorrow, so a nice easy job, just 4 or 5 bits of coving. But now, today, there's a couple of patches, so I've got to patch that ceiling up. That's where these pipes come through. That's been bonded. Oh my God. Not by me. It looks like it's been put on with a catapult. So that's going to need some attention. And then I think there's some making good upstairs. Let's have a look. Oh right, that's it. Got a bit of boxing in to do. Okay, that's nothing too major, is it? Bit of mucking about with some angle bead. Right, let's get prepped and get on with this. I've been wearing these big stupid snow boots because my other boots were really hurting my feet and these were all I had, so I've been wearing these. But the little render job I just did was outside and they're covered in mud now. And as you can see, it doesn't suit that carpet very well. So, I mean, I would always take my boots off anyway, but they're a struggle to get on and off. I don't want to be doing that 20 times, so I forgot I had these in the van, these little overshoes things. I saw there's a BT guy that came in my house, he had a pair on, so I bought a pair. Must be 5 years ago, and I never use them because they're a bit of a faff. So I just went to use them, these overshoes, but they don't fit over them boots. So I'm just going to use the overshoes as my shoes. Look at them. Way too big. So I'm going to be walking around here like Aladdin. What does that look like? Look. Note to self, buy some proper shoes and stop being such a penis. So I'm going to run some yellow frog tape up and down the sides of the walls here, so I don't get too much splurge on the side really. I'm sure it's all going to be decorated again, but just want to leave it as tidy as possible really. Minimal cleanup. Just a little tip, if you are going to plaster and use tape, don't put your tape right into the corners if you would if you was going to paint and then peel the tape off. Leave it out sort of a good few mil, because obviously your plaster is going to start sitting on that tape, and then when you pull it, you end up pulling a big line of your plaster out, which ruins what you was trying to achieve in the first place, believe me, because I've done it. Now, when I'm fixing angle bead, I generally like to use these, I don't know if you can pick it up on here, these ring shank nails there. Let me try and get it in a bit better. There, it's like a nail, but it's got all rings around it. It's called an annular ring shank nail. And I just find that they bite because they've got these rings all the way down there, the pin there. So when they go into something, they've got like a little bit more of a bite. So I'm going to tap these into here. I don't really like tapping things into anything that's been boxed in because you don't know how close the pipes are. But what I'll do, I will put my pin wherever there might be a screw. That way I know what they've screwed into it. It's going to be safe. If you start doing it in random places, there could be a chance that you're going to hit something. Probably not, because I mean, you know, most people build the boxing to come further out, but you do see some sites over the years. So Just try and keep it where you know someone else has done something. That way you can blame them when it leaks. That's all beaded, and then obviously these corners here. And I'm never too worried about getting these bang on these corners, because all you're going to do is create like such a sharp edge if you've got them all coming sharp. I mean, it's quite hard really, especially because I always seem to be at like kids' height as well. You've only got to have someone hit their head on that. So I've left it a little bit short, and then I just give it a little, just a bit of a tap in with a hammer, just to try and lose any roughness. And then when the plaster's on, hopefully it'll create a slight round on that. Whereas if they're really cut fine pointing, it's like an arrowhead. So I don't know, does anyone else have any better ideas on that? Please let us know. Right, although it's just a little patch repair really, it's not that little, might as well end up doing the whole ceiling, but I've really obviously sheeted up properly. It's a nice house, and I don't know when it was last decorated, but it's all light paint, looks fresh. And you've got this lovely big sort of curved wall going on here, bends around. So I don't really want anything going on that really. So it's always worth just spending that extra few minutes just to sheet up. It doesn't cost much in sheeting really. But better to spend 10 minutes sheeting up than an hour clearing up and maybe leaving stains anywhere. Right, it's quite a big patch really. So I was gonna just do the whole ceiling just for the sake of it, because it's just easier sometimes to do the whole ceiling than to try and patch it. But when I look round, I can see on the edge of these coving lines that this ceiling's been obviously over skimmed before. There's basically nothing there. There's no edge on that coving, and there's no edge on it down there. I don't know if you can pick that up. And then back into this corner, there's no edge on it there. So I'm not going to start adding more depth to this ceiling. I'm just going to stick with doing the patch really, and just blend it out. Right, let's get this skimmed. I've mixed up the stuff a little bit stiffer than I would if I was doing a big job. Obviously I don't want it splattering and running and hanging on there. So just a bit tighter. So I'm going to do that and then run between that and that patch today. And that's all I'm doing today really. I've got to cove the big room downstairs tomorrow. So that's just going to be tomorrow's job. I want to have a good clear up today, get it ready just for like a brand new day tomorrow. Instead of crisscrossing, coving, plastering, you end up rushing about between one and the other, and you never do one properly. So let's crack on. What do you say? So when I'm doing these patches and I'm obviously going to blend it, I'm not going to take it right in, well there I had to because of the bonding, but where there's no bonding, I'm not taking it right into the coving. Just stop about an inch out and then you can blend it into that coving then. So basically as soon as that patch is on, the first thing I'm going to do is get a brush and just run a brush around them edges and wetten them in again. Because I've sort of tried to blend that already, it's very thin, it's going to dry quick. So you want to keep them edges wet. Just run the trowel in it at that angle when you're blending it. Don't leave them because they'll build up on you. Probably the most important part of any patch really. It's not the middle, it's the edges. You're never going to get them right on the first pass, so you've got to do it again and again. So don't panic, just wet them down again, other side. This is why when you PVA or SPR you've got to go wider than the patch you're going to do, because you want that feathering out to be on the bonding agent. If it's just on the paint, chances are when it does get painted, the edges of that will start peeling back on a roller. So always PVA wider than the patch you're going to do. So nice and gentle, just wet it in. Feather it in. Okay, boxing in has had a second coat now. A little trail up. Time to stick a second coat on here. And then just start to calm it down then. It starts nice and easy. Get your rushing about done early and you can chill. I might even stick that kettle on again. Sometimes I make these videos and obviously there's no editing, otherwise I wouldn't be going and you think, have people got a camera on me? Am I being watched? I must think I'm a lunatic. Let's do another one. And anyone that's noticed, I'm using a plastic trowel here because again there's a low joist there and it's a bit of a rocker, so I'm not going to lose that. So I don't really want a sharp trowel that's going to be trying to get flat when there's nothing flat there. So I'm using the plastic one, and you can blend the edges pretty well with these. They're quite versatile really. When it comes to the actual polishing, I'll use my Marshall Town with the Flexi one, which has got a really thin edge, and then the blending obviously is a lot more accurate then. Is that what you call it, blending? I always called it feathering out, feathering it in, feathering it out. But I just noticed everyone else calls it blending, so I've sort of jumped on that bandwagon really. I'm going to be individual. It's called feathering in. Actually, I'm feathering out now. Feathering out. Talking of feathering, do you remember in the, I don't suppose a lot of you will really, but in the 80s when punks were about, the guys used to have the old Mohicans, the girls used to have a feather crop. It's like a skinhead, and just used to leave the feathery bits at the front like that. Feather crop. I could do one of them now, look. That's nice, isn't it? Like little centre parting. I like that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby, look at that. George Clooney. I really hope there's no cameras watching me. But, darling, the plasterer has just put a paintbrush against his forehead. a strange man. Can't get away with anything now, can you, with the cameras? When I started plastering in the 80s when I was a labourer, me and my governor, he was only young at the time. You always think he's an older bloke, but he wasn't. He was only about 26. I was about 16, 17. At dinner time, we used to get a telly on, we used to watch Neighbours. We'd be sitting there with a cup of tea, biscuit tin on our lap. How times have changed, eh? Okay. I'll just put you on my head while I'm doing the blending. I'll take them things off, they're deadly though. Let me trip over. Right, so back out with the old Marshalltown Flex now. I'm just going to start really getting these edges blended in. Feathered in, blended in, whatever you want to call it. So you can see I'm blending to there, but my SBR went to there, so I know that that thinnest part of the plaster is hopefully not going to crack, because if you go onto the painted surface with it, it will look great, but it won't bond, it will come off once you start decorating it. Paint will get into it, it'll get a little bit wet underneath again or soak into it, and you'll start getting it fall off, and you've got to start filling it and starting all over again. So just go a bit wider than you need to. If a decorator moans about it, let him moan. See, we've got a low spot here, look. This has been boarded up, a channel, these pipes come through. I think there was a shower pump put in, super duper pump. It's come all the way through there, through here. So again, that was boarded in. All you can do is step back in time. This Marshalltown Flex is absolutely brilliant for blending in. I mean, that blade is, you could chop a tomato on that, honestly. It's so sharp. You have to be careful with it. I have to put a little bit of splodging out at the end. Right, let's go upstairs. Throw that boxing in up. I don't want that big bucket up there with me, because I've got no dust sheet down up there. Up we go. Lovely house, it's a really nice house. Back into here. So I've got no dust sheet down, I just pulled the carpet back. I'll try and balance this without it falling. Oh, Betty, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, bloody hell. Right, that's it. Shouldn't need much, really. I'm on this crate, look, because my socks. Probably put a bit of decorator's cork just around them tops and that, because it'll probably dry and crack, because I haven't, there's no way of getting a scrim. I'm not going to return a scrim onto here, so if I have scrimmed any gaps, they're just up to the edge of the wall. So it's usually at the top you find the bigger ones, so I'll probably put a bit of decorator's cork around that once I've pulled the tape off. Keep your edges nice and brushed in, keep it all nice. Another little tip when you're painting these, you're obviously going to use emulsion on this. sometimes you'll find the emulsion does not want to cover that at all. If you get yourself a little bit of oil undercoat and just paint them first, that'll cover that up and the emulsion will stick to the undercoat a bit better then. Don't use gloss, just use a flat undercoat. Or anything oil based, you know, like a primer, I suppose. A bit of Zinza will do it. But I always find that the emulsion wants to split on it, on, you know, not dry into it, because obviously it's sitting on metal. Right, leave that there, back downstairs again. That fucking thing. I think it's time to stick that old kettle on. Nice and really. I'm going to sit my arse down on the crate. Oh, that's good, that's nice. Right, let's just give that a little run along there first. I like these, they're so nice, these little Rox ones. And these, whatever they are, 5 or 6 quid off Amazon, you get a pack of about 6 different sizes, going from about that down to that. But these sizes here are brilliant for this. Just getting in there. Really running down them edges nice, look. I really put a lovely line down. That's it, get a bit of splodge for that corner. I think I've got a bit there behind this plug that I missed as well. Oh, that's it. There's a little hollow there. See, they're nice. Sometimes you don't want a great big trail in your hand. You're just trying to do these little detailed bits. I'm always open to do methods. I mean, I've been plastering for years and years, but I'm not one of those blokes that just wants to be a traditionalist. If there's an easier way to do it, and it involves me just having a bit of plastic in my hand from Amazon, then I'm happy to use that. It doesn't have to be a trowel, you know. Whatever makes the job easier. So that was the yellow frog tape I used on that, and it hasn't pulled a bit of paint off as the ceiling or the wall all the way down. So that's been good tape, that. All tidied up nicely now, ready for tomorrow. I've just given this whole room a bit of a scrape with a hoover, ready for tomorrow. So it's coving in here tomorrow. There's the coving over there, all laying flat on the scaffold board. So yeah, it could be just a nice Friday really, nothing too strenuous. And get this coving on, because it looks terrible without the coving on with them edges all left. Looks like a right bodge. Anyway, the coving make it look good. Exactly the same as what happened in here. Did the same and then coved it. I would have preferred them to use the 127mm coving, the deeper one really, but this is what they wanted. I think it just looks better, the deeper one, especially in a room this big. You can afford to go a bit bigger with your covings in a room this big. Anyway, see you bright and early at 8 o'clock in the morning for some more fun.